Grand Rising. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday edition of the Female Solution Global Broadcast. I'm Naima Latif, and today we'll be joined by international photojournalist Gary Hunter as he talks about some of the exciting history that's been covered over these past several weeks in the shot news. We are just coming out of an Illinois primary election, and we'll talk about that as much of the information that we're going to hear over these next few weeks will be about the upcoming elections and how we expect our country to change in light of many of the international decisions being made, the war that so many are distressed about, and how are we being conditioned to think as we are influenced by the news media that we allow to give us information. We'll be right back after this brief introduction, and we invite you to join us. You can give us your comments on screen, or you can even call in our radio network line at 727-731-5192, because we always like to hear from you. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Yes, this is the Female Solution. And so many of the females that join us every day as hosts, along with some of our male co hosts and frequent guests, we believe in bringing you an alternative perspective. It's important that you choose who is going to define reality for you. If you are always in fear every time you watch the news, then perhaps you need to reconsider who you're allowing to give you the news. Well, we'll be introducing every second and fourth Wednesday evening of the month the on air daily news hour, in which the on air daily news, in which I am the editor in chief, will bring you stories as gathered by our team of reporters, our excellent team of writers and columnists and people who are on the grounds, able to really give you a perspective of what's happening in the world. And that is what is critical, that we know what's going on in the world. Well, today we're being joined by an excellent photojournalist, an international correspondent who travels around capturing those images and that information that helps us understand what's really going on. So let us greet our guest this morning, the publisher of the Shot News, and he'll give you some shots you haven't seen all across the world. Our dear friend and brother, Mr. Gary Hunter. Thank you for joining us today on the Female Solution Global Broadcast. So pleased to have you today. And we're going to show our audience one of the shots that you have gotten for us. Now, this, of course, is, as everybody all over the world has been talking about, the funeral of Reverend Jesse Jackson. And one of the things that touched the hearts of so many was how profoundly he was remembered by so many all across the world. And the fact that in several cities and there were caravans of people, there were crowds of people, 2 days of viewing in Chicago, 2 days of viewing in Carolina, and for his funeral, 3 presidents coming to honor him, not to mention dignitaries from overseas. So this was quite an affair. And
We're making 5 presidents too. No, 6 presidents.
yes, actually, yes, when you think about it.
The Colombian president, South African
Yes,
president, and another president from Africa.
yes, yes, there were presidents coming from other countries. And this is a point that I think a lot of Americans missed, because they're not always astute when it comes to what countries are what countries are represented by who and what's happening politically in other countries. So the fact that this was such an international event, covered by press all over the world, and you were there with the shot news. So tell us this shot right here that you captured.
So after we marched through the streets of Columbia, South Carolina, up to the Capitol, this is when the family and the Reverend Jackson was laying about to be taken by the armor guard into the Capitol. So this is the family standing at the foot of the Capitol. Congressman Claiborne and Black Caucus members were standing at the top of the Capitol. And as you see, the cassock and the buggy is right at the foot of the Capitol.
Ah, yes. Well, this is one of the things that many people were talking about, the way that Reverend Jackson left South Carolina with
no respect, come back and
yes,
get all respect.
yes, and then
no rights, come back with all rights.
Come back with all rights, lying in state at the Capitol building after having had to fight for the right to go to a public library or drink from a water fountain, all of that insanity, coming back with such power. That was so profound. And that tells a story right there. Just the fact that if we are relentless in our fight to make this country be what it needs to be and must be, it will happen. So that was definitely a profound symbol, and people walking through the streets and all of the honors that came. And
they were lined up around the Capitol, down the block, just to get a glimpse. And the amazing part, when you think about 5 presidents, it shows you the magnitude of his impact. We just don't understand the magnitude of a man standing next to them, where they've been, what they've done, who they've done it with, who they've impacted, who they've encouraged, who they've supported. You just never know. Unfortunately, we oftentimes don't tell people or show people the love that they deserve, that we want to give them, until it's too late to tell.
Yes. And I think for those people who sometimes it's a matter of even us translating the importance of things to the generation coming behind us, because a lot of younger people, they didn't quite get it, and I had a few in their 20s ask me, so what did he actually do? And I'm like, oh wow. Where do we start? And they don't know that a lot of the rights and privileges and powers that they have, even to go to school, to enter certain industries, It came from this man and this era of that fight that made it possible. So just trying to explain that, it's overwhelming.
I totally blame the parents that have been unengaged, unresourceful, uneducating, and uninforming of what we've really come through. They've gotten this bed of comfort that they don't realize people fought for. They died for it. They were beat for it. Not just slavery, not just Jim Crow. Every day being called the N-word. Every day being not accepted. I mean, Oprah, Lily. So it ain't how much money you make.
That's right.
Oprah was told she couldn't shop at a store in LA or in Beverly Hills. Oprah.
Oh, yeah.
Because the mindset of their negligence is just as bad as the mindset of some of this generation's negligence. They don't realize what we've added to. From time to time, you see on all these clips, the things that Black people have added to the society. If you took away everything that Black people included, white folk would crawl up and die in a week.
Mm.
The inventions, the creations, the backbone of just innovation, the internet. I mean, I don't even want to get started.
Oh, yes, yes.
I mean, even from how many pieces of toilet paper that you have in the bathroom. John Hunter created the toilet paper holder that holds 5 or 6. And now you know many companies have it. The comforts we have, the life-saving things, the blood plasma. I mean, it goes on and on. So when you get a Jesse Jackson, who has fought day in and day out. I traveled with him when Kofi said he had been with him 42 years. I'm like, wow. I was there before Kofi got there. You don't realize the time when you're working with people. The picture you're showing now is Mayor Johnson. Brandon Johnson is a statuette man of God that most people would not realize his influential power until they really don't have it. We don't understand. Everything is not Black. When you become the Black elected official. Maynard Jackson put it best. When you're the first Black, you're the first Black mayor or a Black mayor, it just don't roll over and become accessible for you to deliver your people from all the trouble that we see and that we are part of. It's just not that easy. He's fighting for affordable housing, jobs. These ignorant mothers who want to get on social media and talk about violence in the neighborhood. It's your son. It's your daughter. What can anybody do if you can't do nothing with your son? And then if we just throw him in jail, you're going to call it the prison, school to prison pipeline. When will you teach them respect? When they watching you give everybody a piece of your mind and you ain't got enough mind of your own. When will we stand up for what Reverend Jackson, Reverend Dr. King, Joseph Lowry, the Mayor Evans, whose birthday was the other day. When will we have the value
Yes.
of decent home training? Just home training.
Home training. That's what it comes down to. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the things that we observed during this period, especially as it relates to perhaps a change of power happening. We had some of the old guard that is gone out of politics, some people who've retired, and some new faces elected, some surprises. And we'll see if there's going to be a new vision. Do our younger generation members really understand the significance of what we fought for so that they can now be empowered? And are they taking us forward? Are they taking us back? We'll talk about
Are
it.
the winners clear that the reason why you got elected was not to become a part of the system, but to fight to make sure that we were included in the system?
Absolutely.
That's the bigger question.
Well, that's the question, because some people don't know. And as a result, they make some decisions that aren't in our best interest. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Let us greet our global family watching us from all around the world. And then we'll be right back with Gary Hunter and the Shot News. Stay with us.
We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom.
In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you. Yes, we do want to talk to you, and we want you to talk to us too. And right now we are talking to Reverend reporter, photographer, international correspondent Gary Hunter with the Shot News. And he's been all across Chicago and South Carolina and Detroit and all across the world. Of course, DC, a regular correspondent at the White House, and covering that news that helps us to get a real vision of what is happening in our midst. So we did have some changes in direction in the Illinois primary yesterday, and actually for many people they felt it was time for a change, and the retiring of some people paved the way for others to perhaps get their chance at the political landscape, which is always an opportunity to hear a different voice and to hear what the perhaps younger generation, or at least younger than what was there, may have to say. Now, for the Illinois race, and that opened up an opportunity. A lot of people didn't know what might have happened. The two black women running and a male. But however, Juliana Stratton, who is the uh, former lieutenant governor, she was victorious in that Senate race. So now she will face the Republican candidate in the November primary. And LaShawn Ford run in Danny K. Davis's old seat that he, of course, retired from in the 7th Congressional District. And, you know, Danny Davis was one of the old guard that had been there a while. And we love him. He did some great things. And so I'm glad that there was a peaceful passing of the baton on to the next representative. Donna Miller ran in the 2nd Congressional District. There were 10 people running the seat that was vacated by the former Congressman Robin Kelly. And since she didn't win as the Senate representative, of course, she is now, I guess, out of a job. But Donna Miller ran against 10 other candidates who, among them was Jesse Jackson Jr., you know, favored as a possible win. But she apparently ran a tough campaign and was victorious. So a lot of people were not sure how that was going to, how the funeral of Reverend Jackson was going to impact the congressional race with former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. His brother, of course, was uncontested. But as we look at I guess, the decisions that people made, how do you see, or what do you see as a statement being made in those races, and whether people feel like, you know, the Jackson family represents a continuation of leadership, or maybe they're not sure based on their knowledge and understanding and appreciation of history?
It's a real touchy, almost scary, eerie feeling to think that you would praise a family 1 week and the next week totally reject them. And I don't want to call it rejection. It's just they didn't assume that we're really hard on Black men's redemption.
Mm-hmm.
We get paid off of it. We win races off of it. It determines legislation. But when it comes to actually doing it, the same people that want you to give their son all kind of leeway when they get in trouble, they're not willing to give someone else's son. As much as I travel with the congression, the picture that you're showing now is some of the congressional members' letters that's going in the paper that's coming out this week. I understand that we have a long way to go when it comes to being in touch as either party. It is not the redemption for us to go off into what we call being an independent. It really needs to be a withdrawal. I don't want to hear who died for voting. I don't want to see how far we've been fighting for voting. Don't tell me because of what they're doing to keep us from voting, it must be important. Show me that voting matters to you for me. President, senator, congressperson, state senator, state rep, governor. Show me in your actions that the vote means any or something to you. For me, don't tell me people die and my groceries is still high. Don't tell me people die and I still can't get access to true employment. Don't tell me people die and you got special groups getting free computers and other folk are sacrificing their whole life to get a child a computer. Don't tell me how important voting is. If Black vendors after election is still begging for their money to be paid for work they did, but white folks spent $14 billion. No, 15,900,000,000. They use it now as a income sharing. 15,900,000,000. But only our community has to fight for inclusion. But you tell me how important the vote is. It don't make sense.
Right. How's it translating into actions that change things?
But let
And
me bring something to your memory.
mm,
We all heard the lieutenant governor speak at the inauguration. I told you, John, and a sister that passed.
who was that? Parthenia?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I said, y'all, she gonna be somebody.
Mm.
When she got through telling the story about her mother, her grandmother, and aunties.
Yeah. Yeah.
You remember now?
Yes, she did. She did. Yes.
I said, she won't be. I said, this is just a step.
Yep. Yep. She had she had a vision of where she was going. She did. And she understood the significance because she knew where she'd come from. Yes.
Her whole speech was about where she came from, not where she was.
That's right.
It was about the platform that they built for her, not what she built for herself.
Well, that matters when a candidate is building on what they know came before them. Then they have a stronger drive because they understand the significance of where they are and what they must do. Some of the people that, from my perspective, they get into politics and it just becomes a career government job. And it's not a real commitment to change things for the people. And it's not a real commitment to transform the nation from what it was to what it must become. So I had to really look at the background of people, and I tended to favor somebody who came from an activist background as opposed to maybe somebody who came more from a, I don't know, corporate background or whatever, where they didn't really struggle, because I don't know if they would have the appreciation of what a government position means for us as a people. Sometimes they don't.
All I know is, as lieutenant governor, she never lost touch. Everywhere I saw her, she recognized me. She took time for me. And she definitely made it personal. Even last Saturday, she stopped. I said, "Where's your husband?" There he was right a couple of feet behind her. And I made them get together so I could get a picture of the two of them. That's what people can appreciate. That's what people can love on. That's what people can respect. That's what people can fester to, support, and vote for. And we no longer can be in a spot, forget the people who we serve in that spot, and people rewarded.
Yes.
It's a new kind of reward system now. Show me what you're going to do for me.
Right.
Make me believe what you're going to do for me. I know what you're going to do for you.
Right. Yes. And they enjoy a lot of perks too, of course. And that's why some people run. They run for the perks. They run for the importance and all of that and the pomp and circumstance. But what are you really going to do for the people? We're going to take another quick break. But when we come back, let's talk about what you see as you've traveled around the country. What are some of the common pressing issues that the common people have that they're hoping the elected officials will address and alleviate? So stay close. We will be right back. We're talking to Gary Hunter, who is publisher of the Shot News. And we're going to give you a shot to tell your story. You can give us a call, 727-731-5192, because we want to hear from you. But of course, you can add your comments to the screen. We'll bring up a couple of comments when we come back. So
say that number again, just a little slower.
Oh, yeah, it's on the screen, but I'll say it again slower. 727-731-5192. We want to hear from you. All right. And we'll be right back. So stay with us.
Welcome to Masterforce with Mushim Suit. Join us each week on Thursdays at 7 a.m. Central, live on Facebook and YouTube on the Female Solution page, as we dive into powerful topics designed to assist you in mastering your life force. Our conversations feature a diverse lineup of experts, all dedicated to your growth. Tune in weekly to discover new ways to elevate your spirit and raise your vibration. And remember, we are ascending.
And we are back. We are talking to Gary Hunter, publisher of the Shot News out of Detroit, but worldwide, as he travels and gives us a perspective of what is happening all around the world. And he's been traveling with the great caravan of people that were, of course, all involved in the homegoing ceremonies for Reverend Jesse Jackson. We've got a comment here from our own Deborah of Move Around with Deborah. Says, Grand Rising, traveling through the eyes of others. Yes, that is definitely a way to travel, to see the world through the eyes of others. And the Shot News brings us the world through the eyes of Gary Hunter. And we are seeing a lot of the changing of the guard, I guess, around the nation as different states hold their primary elections. But people are hoping for something different. They're distressed about what we've been going through for these last few years and few months, and distressed about what may be up and coming. But what do you see as a common theme as you talk to people and see people in various cities where you've covered news? What seems to be the main thing that people are distressed about? Is it economics? Is it the war? Is it personal issues where they feel like they're maybe not getting access to health benefits? What are some of the things that you have seen are the distressing things that people hope these elected officials will do something about?
I think the main thing is, can we be looked at as human? And it sounds like something that is so far-fetched, but just think about this for a minute. My job is in jeopardy. My car is in jeopardy. My groceries are in jeopardy. My cost of living is in jeopardy. And all you have to tell me is that we just need to vote. But between the voting and the next vote and the next vote, we barely see you. You have no impact on what we're going through. And you don't even educate us on what you're fighting for that we could give you credit for. You're so far away from the people that you forget you represent the people. I never forget when I traveled with the DNC chair, Ohio, Kentucky, Georgia. We went to cities and to barbershops in small gatherings, some large gatherings. It was the same thing in every Black community. Stop sending these white people in here that you paying all this money and you want Black folk to continue to be slaves and volunteer.
Ooh, that's a real sore spot, and we see that a lot when, and elected officials have budgets to pay for professional services. That's a real sore spot when they get ready to pay professional people for the various services that they use, and then they come to our community and ask people to volunteer, knowing they're already economically distressed. That definitely is a real slap in the face, and I hear that complaint a lot. Like,
we heard that
respect for what we do. You want us to do it for nothing.
Nationwide, from Detroit to Atlanta to Columbus to Cincinnati to outside of Baltimore. I'm just thinking of some of the places where the Black men just stood up. The Black women just stood up and said, look, you're giving one company, just in Savannah, Georgia, the state rep said, you gave this white man $50 million, $56 million, I'll never forget it, to go get the Black vote. He said, you could have gave me $5 million. I would have gave you more Black votes than him. Even Black folks don't want to pay Black folks. I go all over this country. And people tell me, man, you bring it right back to us. I do. You look at that paper. If you wasn't at the Capitol, your mind can see exactly where the Capitol was.
Oh, yes.
When you look at the inside, you'll see everything in that room. When you look at the mayor's reception, you'll see exactly some of the key players. But then yet, when it comes to time to pay for advertising, they put me on the same scale as somebody that don't work.
Well, you know what's interesting, especially when it comes to how you get people to trust you. A lot of the people running for office, they think they can just kind of throw out some flyers and not personally reach people, not advertise in the very media that they're hoping to endorse them, and they just assume, and it's unfortunate that Black candidates will assume, well, you should just vote for me because I'm Black, but I'm going to pay the other people, and not realizing you gotta win my vote too, because your color doesn't mean that you think like me. I need to hear something from you, and then you do need to spend some money with those people that you're saying you're running to empower. Well, empower them now with the dollars that you're spending, and those things matter. So I think it's time that we talk economics to those who we've put in positions of authority, because they are going to be making policies and laws that govern the circulation of money, and they need to make sure it circulates to our community, not in the form of the whole welfare thing, pay you to not work, but respect the professionals that have the same skills that you're paying people to provide for you. Find people in your community that you expect to vote for you and hire them, contract with them. Don't keep asking the people in your community that you already know are economically distressed to come and volunteer for you. And then when you get elected or you get a budget, then you pay someone outside the community who's only there because they're getting paid, knowing that we're there because we sincerely are believing in you and believing that you say you're going to help the people that you represent. So we've experienced a lot of betrayal in the past, which is, do you think that could be why some people just stop voting? Like you say vote for me, but then nothing changes. Do you think that experience of betrayal is what has maybe soured people on the political system? What are your thoughts on that?
Yes. I look at the reception that the mayor had. Perfect opportunity for a Black vendor that he used strategic planning. Twyla, who did all Operation Pushes and Rainbow Coalition's convention. It was beautiful. It was appropriate. You go in these places and they got the wrong food for us. Compared to the wrong vendor. You go pick some white company who don't know Black food, and you think all we eat is wings and egg rolls. We eat it because you had us in a program all day and that's all you gave us.
That's the real thing, the cultural things when it comes to planning. And I must say, all of the events that were surrounding Reverend Jackson's homegoing, I'm grateful that they were sensitive. The media team was excellent, and really knowing that it was going to be an expansive operation. People were going to be coming from all over the world, and they were going to have just overwhelming desires for an outpouring of love from everywhere, and then they had to make room for everybody. And then you got a Stevie Wonder coming in that's going to perform. So they really handled it well. And as you say, you gotta have people who know our culture, who know how we are, who know how we express emotion and all of that. You have to have people who are sensitive to our culture when it comes to planning events. Of course, Twyla, she's very, very astute, and all of those. Mary Datcher, very, very astute when it comes to understanding the nuance of our culture. Yes. So I appreciate the fact that the people who understand us were in charge of those proceedings, because well, I'm not saying people who are Caucasian can't do things, but everything is an understanding of culture, and you have to understand the subtle things that affect us. And sometimes those are not things you can readily explain, but when you know, you just know. So it is important. And that's why when we elect someone, we want them.
Take an all-black team into an all-white neighborhood. Why do you keep bringing an all-white team into a black neighborhood?
That's true. It's definitely. I mean, other people understand they gotta select people who know their
soul
culture.
food restaurant.
Yeah, tilt down a little bit, Gary, because you're. I don't want your chin to disappear. Tilt your camera down a little bit. There you go. Yeah, we don't want to have your face disappear in the title there. But yes,
you wouldn't have a soul food restaurant serving pork chops at a Jewish function.
That's true. I mean, it's a little thing, but it's a big thing because you have to
Stop
know
bringing me sushi.
That would be offensive.
Stop bringing me sushi to the soul food place.
That's a real thing. It's a real thing. The little subtle things that you need to know culturally when doing things, because it does matter. So now we're
they know, they just don't care.
Sometimes that's the case too. Just not it feels like they don't care. We're going to take one last break, but when we come back, I want to take a look at how things may change when people of a different generation are in charge. Do they do things differently? How has social media affected the whole media landscape, communications and everything else? Because young people do things kind of differently. And so how do we adjust to that? So we'll talk about that when we come back. And if you are watching and wish to comment, feel free to leave your comment on the screen, or you can give us a call, 727-731-5192. Let me say it real slow, 727-731-5192, because we do want to hear from you. And we will be right back with Gary Hunter and the Shot News right after this. So stay with us.
Leaders of nonprofits empowering worlds. Let's go.
But the vision that God gave me, I felt that it was time for me to step out and work on the vision that God gave me.
We need look no further. We have a unique voice. We have a unique talent pool.
Peace and love. I'm Michelle Renee, host of Education Nation, live on the Female Solution Global Network every second and fourth Sunday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. The intention of Education Nation is to raise awareness about the literacy crisis and to offer information to combat the problem. The goal is to awaken an army of reading coaches and mentors. You will experience guests who are doing their part in the community to ensure youth in their circles are reading and thinking critically. I look forward to serving you in this capacity. Literacy is freedom, and Education Nation will offer information and strategies to help ensure our young people stay free.
Yes. Help ensure our young people stay free. Now, that's the thing. You know, we talk about this all the time, the changing in the culture because of the younger generation and how they've been influenced by social media, how their communication is different, and how that's affecting even the whole industry when it comes to how people get their information. So what do you see as some of the changes happening, particularly as a publisher, somebody who's on the grounds with a publication that you can see and feel and hold in your hands and document and all of those things? But so much of the information the young people get, they look at a tweet or an Instagram post, and one false, what do they call it, fake news. Sometimes things created by AI is not even real, and they will believe that and be influenced by that because they don't have any powers of discernment a lot of times. How do you think the new ways of communicating and the extreme influence of social media is having on how we impart real news and real information? Can people even tell the difference between real news and fake news anymore? What have you observed as far as how that's affecting the way people perceive reality?
I look at our state politics. We have one Black governor, two Black lieutenant governors. Now we have one Black lieutenant governor. I don't know if JB is going to choose another Black. He's almost forced to choose another Black because it'll look like betrayal to not choose another Black. And this will be a unique chance for us to see his trueness, because if he chooses somebody white, that will globally impact him in the possibility of running for president. I know most people ain't thinking about that, but just think about that for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to be positioning himself to consider a presidential run, and I'm sure there are, backroom discussions about it. And because he is wealthy, he's somebody who people feel like could stand up to Trump and his money and all that. So, people have talked about that.
So to answer your question, we've been hoodwinked in a lot of ways that the young folk are not appreciative of. Neither do they respect, neither do they understand. So what we say is detrimental to the hearing of what they're seeing. And a friend of mine who was married to a famous singer, I ain't gonna name him, she used to tell her husband, "You gonna believe your lying eyes or me?" And mind you, yeah, right. You'll catch that in a minute.
Well, that's one of the things we do look at. Are people going to be sincere? And it is going to matter. Are we going to see?
Well, we're in the stage
black people continue to be empowered.
We want people to believe what they're saying, but what we're seeing is, if you want to change what I do, if I vote, if I participate, engage me in what you're doing that is to all of our benefit. Engage me. The problem is we get a core group that support sometimes our foolishness, and we don't go outside that circle. And by not going outside that circle, it ain't the vote that they're going to miss. It's the participation and the vote. So Illinois chose this morning or yesterday to go outside of what they were seeing so they could see something different. Absolutely. And hope that they will believe something different.
Hoping to believe something different. I have been seeing a lot of young people involved in the various protests. The one that was the commemoration of the Bloody Sunday in Selma. I saw a lot of young people that were participating in that, as well as some of the older traditional civil rights workers. But, even with the ICE protests and all of that, and there's a lot of fear surrounding both ICE as well as the immigrants. And so there are a lot of people who participated, and
but how many people running for office haven't been to Bloody Sunday?
Now
How
that's
you
the
gonna tell me
question.
to vote? You have not been to the epic center, ground zero of how we got the right to vote.
And that's the significant thing, because that is the core of how we got the right to vote. If you don't know that history, that people got beaten nearly to death, and some got beat to death, and some died. But if you don't know that story, that's what led to the 1965 Voting Rights Act, which empowered so many people to even run for office and win, especially throughout the South. If we don't know that history, then we just think
I
they're
had a
running for a
white
government job.
congresswoman. I had a white woman running for Congress who had never been, but she was using John Lewis as her platform. She went the next year as the congresswoman. She walked up to me. She said, Gary, she had read a book. And in reading that book, it tells the story of John Lewis and how they got beaten on it. She couldn't believe it. Why are you using John Lewis or Obama?
I've seen people do that. And there were a lot of whites that were part of the civil rights struggle, but there were those who were not, and yet they will invoke the names of those who were when they campaign, and you just assume, they must have been part of it. But a lot of them weren't. A lot of them, like you said, they read it in a book, and then they know the words to say and the names to throw out there, so that the voters that they want to attract will believe they were part of that civil rights movement. And some of them were not at all. Some of them grew up, privileged, separated, not suffering at all. But when they're running to represent a diverse population, they know the things to say to win our trust. So, I mean, is that betrayal? Is that deception? What do you think? Should we challenge people to say, wait a minute, where were you at? How many Bloody Sunday marches have you been in? Or how many activities are you involved in now as a community organizer, or whatever platform you're running from? I mean, I tend to think that, and a lot of times people go into government after maybe having a career as a lawyer, because they feel like, okay, this is a lawmaking position. I need to have a law degree, and that's fine. But our tradition tends to be more of an activist as opposed to a legal expert, because we need you to understand.
I'm participating because I'm engaged in one way or another is where we get involved.
Yes.
Or either we're with people that need somebody to run that can set the platform that looks good.
Yeah.
Which may be dangerous because they don't understand. All Black people are not Black.
Yes, that's kind of true. I mean, the thinking, you don't know how a person thinks.
People that work for the governor here that have Black faces. But they don't want to be around Blacks.
Well, definitely we need to take a look at those that we have just elected and hold them to some standards. Well, we are out of time. We've got to go. But one last thing, what would you advise for people who are perhaps considering a career in politics? What things should they do that would help the community know that they are sincere?
First of all, engage and know your community. That's number one. Never to get outside of your community to learn your community. The Black Caucus every year gives you full scope of what we're fighting for on a global for us. Bloody Sunday every first weekend in March gives you a broad scope of some of the things we've gone through. I would say the NAACP convention, but they are so lost. You need to go to the Urban League convention so you know the understanding, hear me good, of the economic and jobs part of our community. You need to go to the Black MBA convention to see and understand the rise of the education part of our community. If you are permitted, you need to go to some of these social national conventions. Whether it be, and I don't want to start naming none, whether it be the AKAs or Deltas or the Sigmas or the dogs or whatever.
Sororities, the Omega Psi Phi. Some of these fraternities and sororities, because these are all these national organizations.
There's another engagement part of the community. Every one of these fractions become another part of our community.
Yes, and they need to know them. They need to understand
the unions. Even though the unions have hijacked the civil rights of elections, you used to have Black folk, including through Jesse Jackson, through Urban League, through SCLC. You cannot leave out the part you're not a part of. Because if you want to be for the people, you gotta understand people that are not your direct people.
You have to understand. Well said. And hopefully those who run will take that advice, and those who we have nominated to represent the party, whichever party you.
Let's not leave this part out. You need to be in the shot news.
Be in the shot news
paper that's in 11 states.
Well, all right.
Every major Black community across this country.
So now, how do they reach you in the shot news? Give us a website, phone number, address, email. What's the best way to reach out and get their copy of the shot news so they can?
My email is DetroitTimesMedia@gmail.com.
DetroitTimesMedia@gmail.com. Is that correct?
My phone, DetroitTimesMedia@gmail.com.
All right, that is DetroitTimesMedia@gmail.com.
My phone number is 313-442-6111. 313-442 6111.
6111. Well, all righty then. Here we are. Well, you heard it right here on the Female Solution, and you see it right here on the screen. So there we are. Contact Gary Hunter with the shot news, and you can make sure you get a shot at some real news. We appreciate you joining us today.
It's hard to lie with a picture showing you the truth.
Ooh, that's right. You can't lie. It was like pictures don't lie. Well, all right.
My motto is I capture your moment for a lifetime of history.
Lifetime of history. Well, that's exactly what we have. So we appreciate you for capturing these moments. A lifetime of history. Continue to do what you do. And as always, we appreciate your sharing your wisdom with our audience. And we look forward to having you back. We have a regular news hour, the on-air daily news every second and fourth Wednesday evening here on the Female Solution. And we'll have you back sometimes to give us some insight on what's happening in the nation and around the world.
And let's thank God for another Black woman that makes, I think, it makes it 3 in office now. You got Alsabrook, you got, my Jesus girl out of Delaware. And now you got Juliana. And we have 2 men. Well, I don't know why we don't clown the Republicans. They still black.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if we regard it, because we have the ability to be in whatever party, because it's not about the party, it's about the policies. So what do you stand for? And that's what matters. So we want to hear what you stand for. And if you're standing for us, then we stand with you. So,
well, the problem is this. It's kind of hard to claim people that seem to be so stupid to be included.
Ooh, well, now we're going to let you all chew on that one.
If we want to claim them, they keep pushing themselves out the door.
Yes, well, there are some standards. We're going to talk about that at an upcoming show for sure, because some people, they don't seem to quite understand what they should be standing for. But then everybody's got a free will, so we respect that as well. We thank you all for watching. Come on back and be with us this evening for Let's Get Uncomfortable with Wendy and Aaron. Attorneys Wendy and Aaron giving you some real uncomfortable conversations we need to have. So until that time, we want you all to continue to shine your light. See you next time. We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, Ngiyabonga. Senegal, Jaref. Kenya, Asante. Israel, Toda. Pakistan, Shukriya. Afghanistan, Tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.